Alrighty guys, so I thought today I want to go over a very, important topic for Phantom Parade, right? So, with the game approaching its, first anniversary on Global, I want to see, is Phantom Parade dying, okay? So, I've got the earnings of Phantom Parade from every month from launch, right? So, I want to see if the game is losing money or making money and, where it makes the hotspots, right? And compare it to other gachas, right? So, if we get any further, please, black flash that bunch of content and let's go. Okay, so this is gonna be December 2024, right? So this is gonna be a month after release, okay? And we're gonna see November here as well, so that's calm, right? So what we get straight away, right, is the global ranking. So this is the earnings for global, right? So we have, for example, let's see, Legends, right, made $17.7 million in December 24, right? So, where's Phantom Parade? Okay, so if we go down here, right? So, on launch, they made $12 million, right? Which I think is very good, actually, for a gacha. But it's released, so it's kind of expected for, the players to splurge right away, right? So, we have, for example, Dokkan in this December period. This is usually when, nothing crazy is out in Dokkan, so you can understand why they've made kind of less, right? So, Phantom Parade on launch 12 mil, and then in December, so Yuta's month and all that, they made 1 mil less, but still 11, right? And that's top 20 gachas. That's very solid, bro. They're, okay, over here, they're higher than Honkai Impact, Fire Emblem, Cookie Run, Treasure Cruise, Soul Leveling. So, in comparison to everything else here, in its first month, Phantom Parade did very well, right? So, let's move on to January, okay? So, January, Phantom Parade dropped down 10 places, down to 7.9 mil, okay? Kind of expected. I guess, there was less hype stuff. I think this was Hollow Purple time, I think, around there. But besides him, nothing too crazy, right? So, we had, obviously, them two. And, compare it to everything else. Obviously, Quick Run was in a bad month because, it shot up. And just like that, Phantom Parade enters still the top 30. So, it's set to say at this point, Phantom Parade is not going anywhere, right? So, we have, all these, mainstay gachas. Naruto Mobile, please come global. It makes so much money. I want to play it so bad. But, yes, the Dokkan made a lot more this month in January. That would have been, the New Year's banners. But this year, that's what... I forgot what that was low-key. But, yeah, New Year's, right? So... And then we've also got below it still things again, Honkai, Epic 7, that's a very interesting game, this. Yeah, so this is going to be combined, right? So this is going to be all the versions together, right? So this does include JP, actually, which is interesting. So I don't know what is, the separate earnings, but bear with me, okay? So, go on to February, okay? And then obviously we have kind of the same kind of games floating. You can see Dokkan in the Annie period made an absolutely dirty amount of money, 47 million. Is that not insane? A mobile game made the company $47 million. That's bro, what? But Phantom Parade is all the way down. Keep going. To 3.2 mil. So they made almost nothing in Feb. I couldn't tell what came out in Feb. They've been rushing the banners, It is what it is, right? But I wouldn't be too worried because a lot of the games below it are in no sign of shutting down and they're doing worse, right? So for example, Azure Lane, right? Fire Emblem, Honkai, right? Grand Cross, Blue Lock, Treasure Cruise made nothing. Damn. Okay. And also Langrissa, I know that was popular back in the day, but yeah, obviously compared to the big boys Pokemon, Dragon Ball, Honkai, Star Rail to be specific, Naruto, Genshin, obviously not as good as the big boys, but for what it is, still decent, right? And then we go here, okay? So right now you could say it's died a little bit in the month, but it's not really dying yet, right? And we have March, okay? March is going to be... It's going to be all the way down here. One more spot. Made even less money. 3.2. Honestly, can't even blame the players at this point. the banners were kind of like all over the place, and you know, no one really wanted to spend money on, you know, the rushing banners, especially when since we're getting like synced up with JP, we're gonna get everything sooner, right? So we can wait a little bit more than the JP players could have, right? But still, games like Honkai, Blue Lock, One Piece, right? So many games still making less money. I would not be too worried at all. Then go April, okay? April's gonna have Honkai made $100 million, bro. Like, from a single game in a single month. How is that possible? I do not know. But they made that, okay? And then you've got still Naruto up here. You know, I don't know what this is, but it seems kind of, you know, weird, right? You have Bounty Rush making okay. Dokkan still hovering around that, you know, around 10 mil mark. But it was dead month, obviously. And then you've also got, go all the way down. And fan price should be right around here, okay? So this is around the Annie point. Made even less. It made 2 million, right? So it's barely top 50 anymore. I think top 50 is still in the safe zone because, you know, we got Persona 5 still here, Treasure Cruise, and these aren't going anywhere, right? So safe to say it's still in a safe spot. You know, we've got like Fire Emblem who has a very loyal fan base, making 3 mil on average, dead average, and that game's not going anywhere, right? So it is what it is, right? And now we get to May, okay? And May, I think it was a good month for Phantom Parade, if I remember correctly. So we're gonna go all the way here, okay? So they made 6 mil, and I think that was when Annie dropped. Let's actually just check real quick. Let's go May, okay? Half Annie, May, okay? Yeah, so makes sense. This is when Gojo and Yuji did drop, so that makes sense as to why that made so much, right? So they look cool as hell, man. But anyway, right? So that's why it shot up 20 places. So in the big Annie periods, Phantom Parade cooks, right? But when not in the Annie periods, kind of dry, right? So it would be like this level, so around all these games down here, right? Which are still decent games. Like Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, that's a very like communal game, right? Like that has a very, you know, nice loyal community. And if that game's doing good, I wouldn't be too worried about Phantom Parade because we're in a good spot, right? And if it just keeps going, keeps innovating, keeps growing, it's not gonna go anywhere, right? And then let's go to June finally, right? We don't have the July ones yet because July obviously just happened, but this is brand new, right? So we have, you know, Zenless then made 38, Genshin 65, crazy, man. Pokemon's still averaging like 50 million. And then you're gonna have Legends 14.5, not too bad. Cookie Run 11, okay. And then keep going. Phantom Parade 5.8. That's not bad at all, considering June. What was even in June? June, okay. Oh, okay. Okay, Sukuna, and then we have, that's pretty much it, right? Muda as well. So I guess that's fair enough, but I'm very keen to see next month now. I might make these update videos every once in a while, but that's the earnings right now. So if we compare these to the other games, Phantom Parade's in a good spot. So the hype characters are going to bring in the money, obviously, as we all know with every gacha, right? So Phantom Parade being the top the top 28 gachas globally, that's a very big W. Like you'll see games like Grand Cross and like Dokkan. Like I guess it was a dead period, but still, right? That's a new one, I think. Okay, what else we got? Fire Emblem. They probably get more views than the Phantom Parade videos, which is kind of weird. So maybe there's just like a few big spenders on Phantom Parade that are kind of carrying it. I don't know though. So let me know down below you guys' thoughts on the rankings. You know, I thought I'd make this quick little video just to see how Dokkan's going. Not Dokkan, sorry, Phantom Parade. So that's all for today's video. If you guys enjoyed, be sure to black flash that bunch of content, and I'll see you guys later.